right, guys. Joe's going to do some squats and push-ups. It's Monday, and I'm not really feeling well. So Joe's going to be working here instead of in the gym. So I'll probably have a story to tell here. Well, I know one thing I'm going to talk about is the riots. It's not protest, it's riots. Let me spell out protesting 101 to everybody. When you plan on protesting in your city, your state, or your country, you need to get a permit to protest. And you need a designated area, and that is a protest. A riot is when just a bunch of people get together and start burning things and throwing rocks. Latinos don't know how to protest. However, and white liberals and black liberals do not know how to protest. The only thing they know how to do, because they are satanic in spiritual nature, the only thing they know how to do is through chaos. They hate order. Therefore, they riot and throw things and burn things up and deface things. So we're going to talk about that while Joe is doing what he's doing, because he's burned up and mad about it, and so am I. I'm going to preface that. So before that, I want to tell you, Joe had some great sparring Friday with a guy that's 5 inches taller. Joe's about 5'10". This guy was 6'3". So he's about 5 inches taller. And Joe's a little under 5'10". So he's 5.25 inches taller. And he outweighed Joe by 25, really about 29 pounds. And the guy had a lot more experience. So Joe did really, really good, really good. Joe was hitting him with liver shots that had a 2 to 5 second delay on them, and the guy was stopping because he couldn't take it. And so finally, I had Joe lay off of that. But Joe got tagged a good few times. He's got a mark going down the side of his forehead around his temple area where he got clocked really hard with the headgear on, and it left a mark. And then he had a mark on his going down the right side of his nose. So he got clocked some. He was very rusty. He hadn't been sparring. This other guy had been sparring right regular. And hats off to the other guy, because he wants to come back and keep doing some training with Joe. He's a lot older. He's in and out of town here, so we'll just have to do it when we work together when he can. But they were going, this guy was going at about 70% when he was punching hard, and Joe was going around 50% when he was punching hard. Give or take a little bit both ways. And he was really impressed. He said, I've never seen a style like this. He said, this style is just 100% explosive and on you. And Joe was not pivoting, but actually jumping, getting angles on him. And he said he couldn't defend against that. He was really, really impressed. So we were very, very thankful. We were impressed too. And like I said in the video before, when he was hitting on the heavy bag to warm up for Joe, that's what he chose to do to warm up. I was thinking, oh boy, what if we got ourselves into, because this guy was welling on that thing. So he's got boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, experience. He's been doing this for quite a while, and quite a while longer than Joe, because Joe's just 16. And he's a full-grown man, and he's very good. And thankfully, I wouldn't, if they went full-on open hard, one of them would have got knocked out. But Joe said he felt like he could have knocked the guy out at will at any given moment. And I believe him. But they did good. Joe's problem is Joe wants to stop and talk. Number one, he wants to talk the whole time he's sparring. He wants to talk to the other guy. And number two, he'll stop in the middle of it. And was that too hard? Was that too hard? And was that too hard? And that's because we've had some a broke nose and a tooth knocked out on other guys before, and he don't want to hurt nobody. And I've had other where he's really clocked some people, but not meaning to. And so sparring is not to be done in the fashion that both guys are going at it, unless you have an agreement to do that. Sparring is for learning purposes and for training purposes. So, but as rusty as Joe was, it's been a damn year since we sparred. Because you can't find nobody to spar with him. Everybody wants to. Everybody says, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then when they get up on him, they don't want to, or they'll start and you pop them once or twice and they'll quit. But these protests, I have to tell you now, I hope every single last person gets locked up and sent back from whence they came. And I'll tell you why. That others did not come out there when they were defacing a veterans hospital with veterans, sick veterans inside. Now, you lost me at that point. So I'm of the opinion they all need to go. I think green cards need to be revoked. I think every damn last one of them that hasn't obtained citizenship needs to go back from whence they came. Period. Point blank, end of it on that. What happened in LA was what the liberals wanted to happen. They are evil, and evil thrives off of chaos and confusion and general evilness, evil acts. And I am not going to back any of it in any form. Any of it in any form. I don't give a damn about making that statement. That's my belief. It's nothing really personal about it. It's spiritual in nature, which connects to every single thing. Living in this realm and unliving in other realms. And that it's who I am. When I saw that defacing F America and all the ugly messages on the, and if you don't know, go look. A huge chunk of this veteran hospital was defaced while sick veterans and dying veterans were inside of said hospital. I don't want to hear no bullshit out of President Trump. He's trying to say, oh, I quelled it. He didn't quell shit. He didn't quell and suppress a damn thing. The only thing he kept from being overrun was not the VA hospital, but was actually the ICE people. And that's it. That's it. Now you can take it to here or there, whether you give a darn whether the streets of LA whether the whole city goes down. Because I'm at the point right now, I don't really care that much for those people. I believe if you live there, you need to get out of there. Who would want to live around that evil with Hollywood and such and all this music crap? So I don't have much sympathy for none of them, even the ones that may call themselves conservatives or conservative Christians. No use for them no more. What in a just world, what would happen is that mayor would be locked up, that police chief would be locked up, and that governor would be locked up. Representatives and senators in that state would be locked up for homicide negligence over what they've done over the years to those poor people in California. And that's period. That's it. That's it. I don't care what you think about what I just said. I don't care what your system is. You got the right to feel the way you want to. God has given you, whether your ass believes in him or not, the freedom to choose whether to believe in him, not believe in him, follow him, or not follow him. So I give you that too. But by God, give me the respect of how I feel about it as well. And if you don't want to do that, I don't have 2 cents for you and don't care. I've been on this old world a lot longer than I thought I'd be on it. Excuse me. A lot longer than I thought I would be on it. I have was born and raised in a world that you could speak your mind, where it was evil was unpopular, and I'm not changing with this world. I feel sorry for anybody under 50 years old, because if you are under 50, the good parts of the world that you think that you've seen or lived through, they weren't good. And maybe what I've seen was not good. If you see Rocky on camera, he's made about every bad choice he could make the past 2 days. Out in the park picking fights, in here barking and howling at the moon when we walk out the door. We always finish these videos telling everybody we love them. And I'm going to give you a fundamental truth. And although I'll continue saying we love everybody, we want to love everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that it's not possible to love. They're spiritual evil, and their realm is a wicked realm, a wicked spiritual realm.
I hate this list.
Joe is like, God help the next one, where he goes full on with somebody that's competing with him if they are Latino. Because he's just going to take them through it and bash them up. He is so mad. And what made him the maddest was seeing the guy, which is a picture floating around on the internet, this guy standing on top of a burned up car with his shirt off and mask going around his head, waving a Mexican flag during all of that. There's certain places you can take things. I look over and I look at Europe, Western Europe, and what they've allowed to go on. And I'm telling everybody, no matter if you're North American, Western Europe, because see, that's where they're trying to infiltrate. Because we have built great societies. And a special message to North America. In North America, you've always had a North American Indian, a black man, and a white man. And you've had Texan Spanish people. I'll call it that. Because they're North American, north of Mexico, Latinos. And if we all, the traditional people that have been there for hundreds of years, do not stick together, it is going to be our demise. Now, over to the west, Western Europe, I want to tell you, if you don't start standing up now, it will be to your demise. I'm sitting here right now believing Trump has not acted forcefully enough. Yeah, I mean, it's just enough. It is enough. And if you hear Joe breathing hard, he's going, I believe, in through his nose, out through his mouth. We always got allergies going on, he and I both, from being in this hell of a tropical climate, which he and I hate wholeheartedly, but we have been forced to be in. So, a lot of not letting some things go going on with us today. But back on the working out, Joe's doing great. He was really, really rusty. He was unaccustomed to being able to hit somebody as hard as he was able to in the last sparring. So he was doing a lot of filling that out. He'd hit the other guy and be like, "You okay? You okay?" And you really don't want to do that. You need to wait for the other guy to tell you something. But Joe, he's like, he don't want to see his dad pay for teeth work and other people anymore. And we found out that in Tuna, another city, it's quite a ways from here, but it's closer than Cartagena or Bogota, where Joe should be able to go get some of the best of competition that Colombia can offer. From what I've been told from the gentleman, there's a lot of Cubans there that are fighting and training there. So he said it was like a different world as opposed to other places. As far as the MMA and boxing went. So he's given us some contact information, so I'm going to see about he and I possibly taking a trip there. We'll have to go by car or bus or something. It'll be 8 hours one way. But, of course, I'm going to do it because we can't get nobody to... They'll fight each other here, but they won't fight Joe, so... And this is what you do while you're working. Just do, some shadow boxing in between, and then, take your rest and whatnot. And you got to do rope work. If you're planning on boxing and you can't half-ass jump rope, you need to work on the rope work first and get to where you can do that, and then work on the boxing some, because they go hand in hand. I've known of one guy that won a belt, just one, who didn't do jump rope work, and that was Deontay Wilder. And as soon as he come up on somebody that would really hit him, he had no legs. And he was a remarkable freak of nature to even be able to do that with as minimal work as he did. But this thing, sorry to vent on this, but I'm venting in the hopes that most of you, well, number one, our YouTube is shadow banned. We don't get many views on YouTube, and I don't use much else, but I would rather continue with the shadow ban in the hopes that I reach 2 or 3 people that they can hear me and say, well, hey, I'm not the only one that feels this way. There's somebody else that feels the same way. And once in this world, you realize you quit listening to mainstream media who are standing there while in the background shit's being burned, cops are being hit with rocks and pieces of concrete and saying, oh, it's mostly peaceful. No, there's nothing peaceful about that being mixed up in it. And it wasn't even a protest to begin with. No permits pulled, no location, no nothing. Just go out there and congregate in the streets with chaos and carnage. And of course, in Compton, the trash ass people there couldn't wait to jump in on it to give them an excuse to go breaking into stores. So it gives all criminal elements a hand up when mess like that's going on. And I'm going to tell you something. Here in Columbia, those of you that may be new to the channel, you might not know, Joe and I have gotten attacked several times with rocks. These people, they won't fight you. You're looking for a Latino to do a fair fight with, you better look and look and look. And that's about any race. I don't want to just pick on them. But one thing I will pick on them about is the rock throwing. They'll throw rocks, pieces of concrete, and run off. And cry when the retaliation comes back at them. So we're damn well running around here with handguns. And we'll continue to do so because in Latin America, they seem to not think that hitting somebody in the damn head and giving them stitches or breaking a foot or a toe or something, no, that's not really assault, you see. A sick, warped way in view of thinking. So we're not gonna adhere to it. No, we don't give a shit who likes that or not. Could care less. And I really mean that. I don't want to go to jail here, but if they sling me in somewhere, at least the guy that's going to try to harass me is going to be in my fucking presence, where I can go dead back on this guy's ass. Although I'm way too old for that. But it would be better to me, it would be better to tote the butt whooping than to have somebody throw stones and go running. And that's all these little Indians know how to do. They're little cowards. Those people up there doing the riots in LA and New York and wherever they've done them, they're just little cowards. You got little weirdo cowards that, you know, if they catch a conservative person out there that's trying to, you know, get the news on what they're doing, they'll bum rush the one guy or the one woman while there's 500 of them standing around out there, but they would never face you one-on-one on the streets. And this damn George Floyd bullshit that went on, the brothers or the white liberals that participated in that hog shit wouldn't stand up to you one-on-one either. They're all trash. They're cowards. And it's a spiritual thing. You've got a remote goodness about you when you're willing to go one-on-one with another man. You've got no goodness about you if you can't do that. And it's a simple process. This stuff's been going on since biblical times. You look at the fathers mentioned in the Bible, big names in the Bible, and they've got their children wrestling, and they're wrestling other kids and things. And they're proving their manhood. They were fighting back then. It's a pecking order, and it's totally natural. And this world's getting out of the natural pecking order, which is bringing feminism and effeminate behavior out in men. And it's sick. Go to church today, you got a pastor standing up there acting like a nice old lady instead of a man. And so, there's basically nowhere you can go to get, and people are so conditioned when they walk into a church, if the preacher is a man and is a strong man, people are going to get up and walk out and think he's following the devil or something, because it's a preconditioned mindset. And I ain't adhering to it. I'm not adhering to this world. If you want to, you go right ahead. As for me and my house, we're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. You look at Boxing USA, people are like thrilled to be involved with it. People that don't have the confidence in their abilities or can't quite see what they got or can't quite figure out who they are. Coming through, there's probably one guy coming through Boxing USA right now. That'd be Zeke Castro, who's going to come out of it being stronger than he was when he went into it. The rest of this is still woke. It's still this. It's still that. But Zeke ain't over there trying to learn how to bake desserts either, see? He's worried about the fight business and what he needs to do to better himself and work hard. Of course, if you're in England, you don't have that problem. If you're in Ireland, I suppose you don't have that problem. Canada, I don't know, but I know the U.S. because I know the program. Well, how do you know? Because I went to Colorado and sat for 3 effing days back in '81 and got all my credentials and all. They've long since passed and run out. But the way it was back then is the way it is right now. It might have been 80 or 81. To the way it is right now, it's night and day. They used to be hard on you. They used to be tough on you. A trainer would go up and release his kid to the Olympic team or the national team. And you knew that whoever was handling the training with that team, it was in your kid's corner, that your kid would be in as good or better hands than they would be at the gym where they were at. That had to happen with Mike Tyson and him. They would have had to cut loose, you see. But you can't do that today. You cut your kid loose with these Boxing USA guys, and you lucky if your child ain't gonna be molested. And yeah, I mean that. Damn straight, I mean it. Don't give a crap who likes it. I wouldn't dare want to cut Joe loose with any of them effeminate wackos. And that's why when we get back, Joe decides it because Joe really does want to win a medal and he wants to present it for Trump's future presidential library. But I'll be right there. Thank goodness those Olympics, if Joe so chooses it, it'll be the Olympics in our country where I can be there and be around and make sure it ain't no fuddy-duddy. But by then, Joe will be over 18 anyway. He'll be able to handle himself and put somebody's teeth down their effing throat. And I can assure you he'll be the one guy standing there when 30 others say yes to the BS. Joe will be the only one standing there saying, I don't think so, buddy. You trust a bunch of damn men sitting around baking brownies and chocolate cakes and puddings. Damn pussies. And that effeminate behavior is what's led to immigrants running amok and everything else bad under the sun. Father tries to lead his family. He gets slung in jail today. Sick shit and otherwise normal people that you would look up to are back in this mess. The good fathers aren't allowed to be good fathers. Men aren't allowed to be men. So I'm done respecting them. And as far as Trump goes, you guys know I love him to death. Actually, I worked on a transition team for his first administration before he got sworn in. And, those of you that know me well know I was a party leader from my home state and whatnot, and done miraculous things politically that everybody said couldn't be done. But I don't like him standing around saying, because 200 guard, which 8 or 9 or 10 of them was outside of the ICE thing, just protecting it, and Holman, while they're running their mouths on television, letting the VA hospital adjacent to it be defaced and the rest of the area be burned up, cars burned up, stores looted, and let's be real about it. ICE got run up inside their facility and couldn't come out and perform any of the operations they were supposed to perform over this past weekend. So I wouldn't be calling it a damn win. I'd be calling it a big loss. I wouldn't put sugar on it either. What you got, son? Yeah.
I just did 25, right? I got 500 and 20. 540.
Of everything?
Yeah.
All right. So you got 270 of each.
250 push-ups.
Okay. Good job.
Also, the shadow box.
Yeah. And look, when you get to 500 or 600 in total, you can stop if you want to. If you want to go higher, go higher. But I want you a little fresh for tomorrow because I'm gonna work you. We're gonna do it. Yeah.
I already have to put more than 500 into it.
Well, 600 or whatever. I mean, 300 a piece or
Oh, yeah.
350 or whatever. Try to get 350.
Yeah. I'll do 10 squats first and then I'll do push-ups.
Why I'm telling him not to do as much is because I want him. I got plans for him tomorrow. I have just been sickened all weekend over what's happened in the U.S. with these riots and other problems here. And as I'm getting older, things are getting a lot more personal to me. I'm hating evil so much more than in my younger decades. You know, when you're younger, things, you know, they enter, they go. I remember, I think it was in 81 or 82 when the Marines got blew up in Beirut. I was angry then, but more of a hurt anger. Now I've got like a righteous anger where it's good versus total good versus total evil, and I see things a lot more clearly in black and white now. The older I get, the less shades, the more I've seen over many decades, the more I know there's less shades of gray there than I thought in my younger decades. So the exhaling you hear is Joe going through his fist there, which was one of the areas. Joe missed a lot of punches, but he was holding back tremendously on his speed in the last sparring. So I'm not on him for that so much. I mean, I full well know what he can do, but the other guy was holding back a little bit too, and Joe was still eating punches here and there. So I'm always telling him hands up. And when I say hands up, I'm not necessarily meaning like this, I'm meaning like this. There's other thing that guy was saying, there ain't nobody that hits like Joe. And Joe was really having to hold back. And the first thing you hold back on where you don't want to go full on is a lot of your speed, because Joe can't calculate that with the force he's got in his punches. So, but I'm fully happy with what's going on, and with the rust that he had on him going in there, and me knowing full well what he could do, he could right now probably beat up 2 or 3 of the guys in the heavyweight division that outweigh him by 35, 40 pounds. And Joe's a little under 200 right now. I don't know how much under, but he's a little under 200 right now. And his cardio held up good. Everything held up good, son. And of course, I was bitching and griping the whole time. I filmed all of it, but Joe picked some portions out, because when I was stopping him and telling him, hey, do this, or you're not doing this, we didn't put all that in there because we don't want to give our cards away. And the others when I'm going ballistic, because but Joe, I'm very happy with your speed. I know you're really not, but uh, when you full on are able to go on it, that speed's there. I know you're tremendously quick. But what we're going to have to do, I want you to walk down more. Get in the sparring you have coming up, walk down more, and go in short bursts. You know, because this style will eat up every bit of energy you got. But I'm impressed that folks, they not all at one time, but Joe sparred for an hour and a half Friday, but it'd be like 3 minutes here, 1 minute there, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 1 minute there, 3 minutes there, and it was like that for 45 minutes straight. So I don't know how many rounds. It would have been well over 15 3-minute rounds all the time combined together, but just not 3 minutes at one time with 1 minute rest. So they did have 2 minutes here, couple of minutes there, and but mostly it was 1 minute in between. And that's the way you need to do sparring, unless you're just right up getting ready for a fight. If you're getting ready for a fight, you need to do things differently. But Joe, I'd take you to Tuno right now, with no preparation, just like if we left today and you fought tomorrow, and I wouldn't have any problems with it. I know what I see, and there won't be a soul there that can beat you. Not one. I don't care if they're 26 or 16. And I love the fact, folks, we didn't get a whole lot of this in there, but Joe showed where the Mike Tyson drills where you go like that. So you're going yeah. And this was what Joe was doing. And when the guy would go, he's over here stepping and then stepping, and see Joe would just go like that. And the guy was like, how the hell are you doing that? You can't get away from that. And Joe would have a good angle on him, and he was saying, I can't defend myself against this. So it was real good to see. And what am I always saying? You fight like you train. And of course, I was going in there and did a few rounds, and then I told Joe, I said, just right now, fight, spar like you train. And he started doing that, and I believe Joe was even somewhat shocked at the ability you had. Because a lot of times the young fighter won't realize what they have. And a lot of the time, a guy will be a great gym fighter, but then when it comes down to fighting, they're not doing so well, and it's because they're not fighting like they train. There's a reason behind the method of the madness of good or decent trainers. I wouldn't even call myself a good one, but I've been around the block a lot of times, and that makes me decent in my own guesstimation. And my favorite trainer, folks, is Eddie Futch, and that's because he can take any guy with any style and work with them and produce world champions or top 3 caliber. And when a fighter had a tremendous problem, be it psychological, you could call it mental, or physical, or style-wise, going up against somebody, they'd call Eddie Futch, and Eddie Futch would come in and figure it out. Of course, we're not doing a Eddie Futch style, but I don't know that Eddie Futch, there would be a Eddie Futch style. He would adapt something to be the specific guy and had the uncanny ability to get the fighter to adapt to what he was telling them to do. And if they did what he told them to do, they'd win. It's a simple process. Not. He had fighters that won over naturally more gifted guys all through his career. Eddie Futch was the man in my book. It's my favorite. I think he was the best of my time. Maybe the best ever. And he was difficult. He expected you to do what you told him to do. And that's why nobody kept him around real long. Guy'd keep him around, they'd get a championship, and they'd say, oh, no, I don't want to work with Eddie no more. And that's because he didn't take no BS. Doing great, son. And listen to me, if you are a Latino, I'm not trying to personally go against you. It just happens to be that that is the specific group of people that are causing my specific group of people the most problems right now, today. And I'm just sick of it. Does that mean I hate you? No, it does not. So don't get misconstrued with that. I love you no matter the color of your skin or the culture you've been brought up in. What you got now?
350 on both.
350? All right, he's got 350 push-ups, 350 squats.
712.
So 712 in total.
712.
700 in total. So, gonna finish this like I always do. We love y'all, you all. We hope that you all have a very, very good week, a prosperous week. And remember, Christ is King, Lord, and Savior up in here. And we hope he is up in where you are. And if he's not, we hope he becomes that up in where you are. We hope all of you have a great week.